Agent versus Wholesaler, man, episode 80. You feel me? Episode 80. Get right into this, man.
If you quit, you lose. Automatically. They don't bring it up.
Alright.
You lose automatically when you quit. Now, the same thing that goes for your arm goes for your brain, mentality. The same thing goes for all the human virtues. Ambition, unused,
Let me see.
declines. Strong feelings, unused, diminish. It doesn't grow, it diminishes. Faith, unused, decreases. It's a law. Vitality, unused, diminishes. Energy, unused, decreases. The guy says, well, I'm going to save up my energy. You can't do that. That's like trying to save today, put it on the end of the year. See, you can't do that. They'll come take you away. If you don't use today, what? It's lost. The guy says, well, what classes are tomorrow to make up for it? See, that's foolish. You could have done that anyway. Today unused is lost. A talent unused is lost. An ability unused is lost. So here's one of the key expressions of the evening. Take a new inventory of yourself. Starting tomorrow, new project. Take a new inventory. And make sure that all of your talent and ability and mentality and ingenuity and vitality and strong feelings, faith, courage, make sure that all you've got's being used. Otherwise, you lose. Now, one of the best illustrations of the law of use is a Bible story called the Parable of the Talents. The Talents story. Interesting story if you haven't read it in a while. Just review it. It's a good story. An ancient story. It says there was a master with 3 servants. He got them together one day, and he said to the 3, I've got
Let's
these
see what's
talents.
popping in
And in
63118.
those ancient days, a talent was a measure of gold. And he said to the 3 servants, take these talents and see what you can do with them while I'm gone. He said, I'm taking a journey and I'll be gone for a while. When I come back, we'll get together, go over the book, see how you did. He said, here's 5 of these talents for you. 5. Here's 2 of them for you. 2. And here's 1 for you. 1. The master said, take those talents, see what you can do with them. When I come back, we'll get together, we'll go over it all. The servant said, okay, master takes off. According to the ancient story, the master comes back from his trip. When he gets back, he gets the 3 servants together, and as he said he would, he asks, how did it go with those talents? You were 5. What happened? That servant said, well, I took the 5 talents you gave me, and I put them to work. A little shaky at first, but he said things finally got rolling. And he said, I poured it on. And he said, my talents grew to 7, 8, 9, 10. He said, I doubled my talents from 5 to 10. Books will show. Master said, one heck of a job. Or something like that. He said, I gave you 2 talents. What happened? That servant said about the same thing happened to me. I put those 2 talents to work, poured it on. They grew to 3 and then to 4. He said, I doubled my talents from 2 to 4. Books will show. Master said, well done. He said, I gave you 1 talent. What happened? That servant said, well, I took the talents you gave me, and I carefully wrapped it, and I dug a hole and buried it. And camouflaged it, I suppose, so nobody would steal it. And he said, fortunately, nobody got it. And he said, I knew you were going to be here today, so I dug it up. Here it is, safely wrapped. I did not lose it while you were gone. According to the ancient
What's this on
story,
Nebraska?
the master said, take that talent away from him and give it to the man that's got 10. Now you might say, well, I don't like that arrangement. The poor guy's only got 1 talent. He's already got 10. It ought to be more even. Remember, I didn't ask you to lie. Because it simply means whatever you do not employ, you forfeit. It's a law. So learn well the law of use. Now here's the second one, and we're going to take our break. Second law.
Okay, oh, like this. So you feel me? I don't know.
This one we've heard since we were
I asked the agent how busy
called
he
the
is.
law of sowing and reaping. In fact, we've probably heard it so often we can quote it. It says, whatever you sow, what? You shall reap. Fairly blunt, hopefully clear. Here's my first suggestion on the law of sowing and reaping. Don't try to beat it. You might as well try sitting on the sun in the morning. See Griffin coming up. You'll have better luck. Whatever you sow, you reap.
Let's look at it.
Now, for a fair share of my life,
Definitely a
mixed up on
flip.
how all this applies. Among a lot of things I was mixed up on.
New flooring, new paint,
I wasn't reaping too
new
good.
bathrooms for sure.
My
They
problem
want
was I
169,
refused how it
2,000
was costing.
square feet.
Remember me with the funny list? I thought those were the reasons why it isn't working out well. And then Mr. Schultz gave me the clue that helped me
2,000
figure it
square
all out.
feet.
He said, Mr. Ron,
About
I have another answer
50,000.
for
We
you.
got a
There's another way to quote
about
this law
50K repair.
that'll show you where the problem is so you can go to work on it right away. All you need to know is where the problem is, then you can go to work on it. So he quoted me the law another way, and I found out what the problem was. Here's the way he quoted the law. Whatever you reap is what you sow. Now I knew what the problem was. Whatever you reap is what you sow. If you don't like the crop, who do you look up? Answer. Whoever planted it. And where do you find who planted your crop? Answer.
So you don't have the estimate.
What I finally learned to do come fall was to go to the mirror. That's where you go. And if necessary, you say, a few skinny carrots? I got to be unimpressed. Where were you last spring? Asleep. Didn't you read the book?
Dropping.
Did you break your phone? Let me give you 7 key points for the law of sowing and reaping. Let's take right down through the list of 7, and it'll be break time. 7 points to sowing and reaping. Here's part of the philosophy that really helped me to make some changes in life direction. Number 1, the law of sowing and reaping is negative. That's number 1, which simply means if you sow bad, you reap bad. Now, this is kind of third grade, but it doesn't hurt to go over the basics. If you plant thistle seeds, you don't get pumpkins. Honest, no use looking for pumpkins. John says, how come no pumpkins? Come on, John. The law's negative. That's how come. Now, here's number 2. The law is positive. Which simply means if you sow good, you reap good. If you plant pumpkin seeds, you don't get thistles. Not from pumpkin seeds. Mother Nature won't pull tricks on you or in the corner snicker and push new thistles and you plant pumpkin seeds. She won't do that. You will get pumpkins from pumpkin seeds, and the reason is because the law is positive. Now here's number 3. I got excited when I found out the full dimension of this. See, you do not reap what you sow, but rather you always reap much more than what you sow. So the third key word is more. You don't get back what you put out. You get back much more than what you put out. And it works both positive and negative. On the negative side, it said, if you sow to the wind, you reap the whirlwind. So you've got to get ready for that, or you will be naive. See, anybody can, whether you will or not. See, that's the question. And here's a good question to We are all buying somebody's plan. The question is, who's got you talked into doing what you're doing? Who's got you talked into your present plan? See, 10 years from now, you will surely arrive. The question is, where? But see, anybody, if you want to, could go searching for a good plan, pick it, and start working it. And sure enough, as the time passes, as it surely will 5 years from now, 10 years from now, then you'll be winding up wearing what you want to wear, driving what you want to drive, living where you want to live, become what you want to become. But now's the time to fix the next 10 years. And who can? Anybody. Here's number 6. The 6th key to sowing and reaping. This is leveling with you now, as we promised to do. There's one thing better than the truth, and that's the whole truth. And here's part of the whole truth of the law of sowing and reaping. Number 6 is, you could lose. There are times when you just lose, no matter what you do. It's that kind of planet. You reap what you sow, yes, but what does that mean? Yes, but, well, the farmer plants his crop in the spring, takes care of it all summer, loves his family, works 10, 12 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week, is an honorable man. Come fall, he's got a beautiful crop, and he deserves every bit of it. When the day before he sends the combines into the field, a hailstorm comes along and beats it all in the ground, which means you lose. Somebody says, well, what did he do wrong? Answer, nothing. It's just that kind of planet. Sometimes it's going to hail on your crop and rain on your parade, so you've got to get ready for that or you will be naive. That's just part of the life arrangement. And don't press me why. I was not in on some of the original decisions here, so I don't know how it got set up. But there's just times, sometimes you lose. That's part of life. But now here's number 7. The 7th key to sowing and reaping. And it goes like this. It's just another way to quote the same law. And it goes like this. If you don't sow,
don't reap.
that's just another way to quote the law. If you don't sow, what? You don't reap. You don't even have a chance. So if you look at your game plan tomorrow, you might come to the quick conclusion, I got to get some sowing going. How true. Get you some sowing going. And remember, you've got plenty of time. You've got all the time there is. Some people spend enough TV time to make a fortune. The latest article on television watching in this country, according to the latest article, the average television is on in this country in every household 7 hours a day, called the Big 7. I asked a guy one time what his TV cost. He said about $450. I said, you forgot to look at the price tag. He said, what do you mean? I knew he was a TV watcher. I said, that television costs you, in my opinion, at least $12,000 a year. To watch it, not to own it. Owning it's cheap. Watching it is what's expensive. And I said, hey, $12,000 a year is too much to pay to watch TV. That's too much. Pay a little, but not $12,000. And he's the guy that said, I hope pay TV never comes. Okay. We're trying to cover an awful lot tonight. I realize that. But my time schedule is such that we just have to sort of give it all to you and let you sort the rest out. I wish we had plenty of time for questions and answers and that whole thing, but our time is just limited. But we are trying to go through an awful lot, I realize that. But looks like everybody's getting it. This is about the note-takingest crowd I've seen in a long time. Incredible. Does anybody have 5 pages yet? Anybody? Oh, fantastic. Incredible. Okay. Maybe you heard the story about the preacher down in Texas, southern part of the country. Um, he was an evangelist back in the horse and buggy days, and he was very good at being an evangelist, and a lot of people used to come and hear him preach. And one day he put up his tent in one of these Texas towns and expected a big crowd as usual to come hear him preach. And he got there first night of the tent revival, walked in, 7:30, time to start. And to his surprise, the tent was empty. He thought, well, something must be drastically wrong. So he waited till 8:15. Nobody showed up. 8 o'clock, zip. Finally, 8:15, one lone cowboy wandered up on his horse, tied his horse up outside, came in, sat down on the front bench, right, waiting for something to happen. The preacher thought, well, at least I better go down and talk to the cowboy. So he walks down and talks to the cowboy, and he says, Cowboy, I'm the preacher. And he said, I don't know what to tell you. Something's gone wrong. He said, this tent was supposed to be full of people. He said, I'm embarrassed. He said, you're the only one that showed up. And he said, I really don't know what to do. And the cowboy said, well, I'm not a preacher, so I really can't tell you what to do. You know, he said, I'm just a cowboy. But he said, I know this. If I went out to feed my cattle and only one showed up, I'd at least feed it. The preacher thought, hey, the cowboy is right. If you've got a good idea to share, you should share it, if there's one or 1,000. So he got kind of inspired by this conversation, and he jumped up on the platform and started to preach. As if the tent was full of people, just exploded. And he went for an hour.
124.
Hour, 15 minutes, just kept rolling. Finally, he quit. And when he finished, he came down off the platform and talked to the cowboy again. Says, well, cowboy, what did you think of my sermon? And the cowboy said, well, I'm not a preacher, so I really can't tell. You know, he said, I'm just a cowboy.
Just a cowboy.
But he said, I know this. If I went out to feed my cattle and only one showed up, I'd feed it, but I wouldn't dump the whole load of it. So anyway, it seems like we're dumping the whole load tonight. I guess we are. But gosh, everybody's doing well. I'm having a good time. I appreciate the response here tonight. Okay, the next subject is setting goals. Let me show you what turned my life every way but loose. Mr. Schoaf dropped this idea on me, changed me completely. Setting goals. Here's what can easily happen if you don't set goals. It's easy to let life deteriorate into making a living instead of designing a life. And we all have a choice. Make a living or design a life. It's easy to get trapped by economic necessity and settle for existence rather than substance. That's easy. But the best advice I can give you on how to break out of that trap is to learn how to set goals. Mr. Schoaf put it to me this way. He said, Jim, if you had enough reasons, you could do the most incredible things. I never forgot how he put that. If you have enough reasons. See, reasons will change your whole life.
Hi, this is Danielle Buzzard with Avenue Real Estate Group. Sorry, missed your call. Please leave a message, and I will get back to you.
Mr. Schoaf said to me, he said, Mr. Rohn, I think you've got plenty of intelligence, you've got plenty of talent, you've got plenty of ability. Probably what you lack is plenty of reasons. He said, I don't think your current bank balance is a true indication of your level of intelligence. I was happy to hear that. He said, I think you're much smarter than your present bank balance indicates. And that turned out to be true. I was much smarter. But of course, my first question was, well, then why isn't it bigger? And he said, you don't have enough reasons. You've got enough intelligence, but not enough reasons. So see, reasons can change your life. Here's what else I found out. Reasons come first, answers come second. You don't get the answers to do well till you get the reasons. Life has a mysterious way of hanging on to all the answers and only gives them up to the people that are inspired by reasons. So reasons make the difference in how your life works out. Now, what are some of the reasons for doing well? Let's go through a quick list called Reasons for Doing Well. First is personal reasons. Some people do well for recognition. Some people do well for respect. Some people do well for the way it makes them feel. They love the feeling of being a winner. Those are good reasons. I have some millionaire friends that keep working 10, 12 hours a day, making more millions. And it's not because they need the money. It's because they need the joy and the satisfaction and the pleasure that comes from being a constant winner. And see, it's not just the money anyway. It's the journey, not the money. Once in a while, somebody says to me, boy, if I had $1 million, I'd never work another day in my life. That's probably why the good Lord sees to it they don't get their million. They quit. They quit. Okay. Next is family reasons. Some people do extremely well for other people, and that's powerful. Human beings can greatly affect each other. Sometimes we will do things for somebody else we will not do for ourselves. We are made that way. I met a man one time who said, Mr. Rome, to do all the things I want to do with my family around the world, he said, I got to have at least $250,000 a year. I thought, incredible. Could a guy's family affect him that much? And the answer is, of course. How fortunate are the people that find themselves greatly affected by somebody for personal achievement. And we are affected. The writer of a recent song said, if not for you, the winter would hold no spring, couldn't hear a robin sing. I just wouldn't have a clue if not for you. So we can be affected. That might be one of the most stimulating reasons to do well, finding somebody. When Andrew Carnegie died, the wee little Scotsman that built the big steel industry, when he died, they opened up his desk, and in one of the desk drawers, they found a slip of paper. On that piece of paper, Mr. Carnegie had written his goal for his life, and he wrote it when he was in his 20s. And on that piece of paper, it said, I'm going to spend the first half of my life accumulating money. I'm going to spend the last half of my life giving it all away. What a goal. He got so inspired by that goal that the first half of his life, he accumulated $450 million. And the last half of his life, he gave it all away. Good question tonight. What's got you turned on? What's got you bombed out of sight to get up early and stay up late and hit it all day? Next question. What's got you turned off? When I found the answers to those two questions, my life exploded into change. I finally found out what had me turned off, and I got that cured. And then I got me a long enough list of reasons to turn me on. And once the lights went on for me, age 25, they've never gone out. I've fallen out of the sky a few times, but I've never lost that drive to make something unique out of my life. See, reasons altered my whole life. Now, there's another list of reasons called nitty-gritty. Hard little reasons. Sometimes those little reasons are the most powerful reasons that can change your life. Sometimes it doesn't take much. I now carry several $100s in my money clip. It's only a few $100s, but it was one of those reasons that turned my life around. Just before I met Mr. Show, I heard a knock at the door. I go to the door, and there's a little girl standing there about this tall selling Girl Scout cookies. And she gave me one of the finest sales presentations I've ever heard. Special deal, several flavors, this whole package of stuff, $2. And with a big smile, she very politely asked me to buy. And I wanted to. Big problem. I'm broke. I don't have $2. And to this day, I can remember the pain and the embarrassment. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I've been to college. I'm working. I'm 25. I don't have $2. And I didn't want to tell her that for some reason. So I did what I thought was next best. I lied to her. I said, hey, look, I've already bought lots of Girl Scout cookies. I've still got plenty stacked in the house, which was not true. But it seemed to get me off the hook for the moment. She said, well, gosh, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. And she went away. When she left, I closed the door, and that was the day I said to myself, I don't want to live like this anymore.
No more,
I've
bro.
had it with lying, and I've had it with being broke. I'm never going to let this happen to me ever again. I promised that day I would work as hard as possible and would always carry plenty. It took me a little while, but now I do. It was one of those reasons. And I guess I carry plenty for two reasons. One is the way it makes me feel, but also in case I bump into another Girl Scout selling cookies. Right? I'm ready. I walked out of the Bank of America one time up in Saratoga, California, where I used to live. Two little girls selling candy right outside the bank. Good place. It's some girls' organization they're working for, right? I come walking out of the bank. This first little girl walks up to me. She said, mister, would you like to buy some candy? I said, I probably would. What kind is it? She said, it's almond roca. I said, my gosh, that's my favorite. She said, wonderful. I said, how much is it? She said, it's just $2. I thought, incredible. I said, how many boxes of that candy have you got? She said, 5. And her little friend was there. She was selling candy too. I said, how many boxes have you got? She said, I've got 4. I said, that's 9. I'll take them all. They said, really? I said, yeah, it's my favorite. I've got some friends. I'll pass them around. They got so excited, throw all this candy together. I reached in my pocket, gave them $18. When I got the candy and they got the money, that first little girl looks up at me. She says, mister, you are really something. How about that? Can you imagine only spending $18 and have somebody look at you in the face and say, you are really something? Now you know why I carry heavy, right? I'm not going to miss anymore. It was just one of those reasons. Helped to change changed my life. One of my nitty-gritty reasons was budget finance. Budget finance used to grind my soul. Way back in those early days, I had fallen for one of those consolidation loans, where you take all your little hard-to-pay bills, put them into one big impossible-to-pay bill, right? I would get 4 or 5 payments behind. This one guy used to call me day and night. I don't think they're allowed to do that anymore. Harass me. Threatened to run me in front of the judge. Threatened to ruin my credit. Threatened to embarrass my family. One day he said, we're going to come get your car, drag it rear end up down the street in front of your neighbors. The guy even called me a flake. And back in those days, I'm broke, I'm pitiful, there's nothing I can do about it. But I never forgot how the guy treated me. And when I met Mr. Show, and I got my life started straightened out and the money started to flow, that was one of my first projects, budget finance. I poured it on day and night. I finally put all the money together I owed him, which was considerable. I picked a day for the payoff. And when the payoff day came, I put the money in small bills in a big briefcase. And I walked into the budget finance office on Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles. The guy who harassed me so often, his desk was about 3 back. I walked right up to his desk, started. You wonder what I was doing there? It was the first time I'd been there since I borrowed the money, right? Without saying a word, I opened up this briefcase, dumped this pile of money all over his desk. I said, count it. It's all there. I will never be back. And I turned around and stormed out. Now, that might not be noble, but if you haven't tried it, you've got to one time. It can be the day that turns your life around. All you need is the reason that turns you on. One of my dear friends, Robert Depew, Bobby used to be a school teacher in Lindsay, olive capital of the world. Bobby taught school several years, got a little weary teaching school. One day decided he wanted to get into sales. So without telling anybody, he just up and quit his job teaching school and jumped into sales. When he did, his brother made fun of him, laughed at him, put him down, said Robert's lost his mind. Had a good job teaching school, now he thinks he's a sale. He's going to go down the drain and lose everything. Just put him down something fierce. Bobby said, the way my brother acted when I got into sales, he said that made me so mad. I decided to get rich. And my question for you tonight is it possible to get that mad? Of course. Wealth is not a matter of intelligence. It's a matter of inspiration. Today, Robert happens to be one of my millionaire friends. Bobby's rich. Frank Sinatra said one time, the best revenge is massive success. Hey, get you a long enough list of reasons so that after tonight you never lack for inspiration. You might not have all the answers right away, but you can get the answers if you can get the reasons. Now, let me give you a little simple formula for goal setting. Okay? We take 2.5 hours on the weekend for the whole 10-year plan. We don't have time for that tonight. But let me get you started with a little simple formula Mr. Shope gave me. And maybe this will be helpful. First of all, I've divided goals into 2 parts. First is long range. Long range goals. That's your dreams. Your dreams for the next 3, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Actually, the rest of your life. Your dreams. You've got to keep dreaming. Ronald Reagan, president, said to the joint session of Congress a few weeks ago, "The republic is a dream. And if we don't keep dreaming, we will lose the republic. Your better future is a dream for yourself and for your family. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? What do you want to see? You've got to dream dreams. There's a Bible phrase that says, without dreams and visions, people perish. You've got to have something to go for that inspires the heart and the soul. Dream. From the children of Sanchez, it says, take the crumbs from starving soldiers, they won't die. Take the bread from hungry children, they won't cry. But without dreams, we all will die. You've got to dream. Don't lose your dreams. For yourself, for your future, for your family, the dreams of love and enterprise, and travel, and doing things, becoming something unique on your journey here. Don't lose your dreams. Do some dreaming. That's long-range goals. Got to have those. So that's number one. Here's the second part of goals, short range. Short-range goals. That's your goals for tomorrow, this week, this month, this year, the immediate future. We call these confidence builders. Because if you set up something short-range, go for it. Get it. Latch onto it. Work hard.
Let's see what's up. 63301.
Feelings to go for your dream. Now, I've divided goals into three categories. Here they are. Number one is economic. That's your goals for money, income, business, profits, production. Economics. Make sure you've got your economics well planned. Economics plays a major role in everybody's life. Economics is major, which means it ought to be meticulously well planned for tomorrow, this week, this month, this year, long range. What if you ask somebody tomorrow if you could see their meticulously well-planned list of economic goals? What would they probably say? They'd say, you some kind of a nut? You must be weird.
I heard so.
Hey, I found out what success is. Success is doing what the failures won't do. Make sure you've got your economics well planned. It'll put you in the top 5%. One of the key little subjects we talk about on the weekend is the 7 fundamentals for wealth and happiness. And that's one of them, well-planned economics. It's a fundamental if you want to do well. Join the top 5%.
This thing is dated, bro. Look at that. What is that, a kitchen? No, out of their mind.
Now here's the second category.
Out of their mind. Look at that bathroom. They out of their mind. Look at that carpet.
Little things as well as major things. Doesn't matter how small it is, it goes on my list. I used to just put major things, cars, homes. I don't do that anymore. I now load my list with everything. Everything.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason is part of the fun of having a list is checking it off. That's it. Boy, at the end of the day, if you can go, got it, whatever it is, right? You get into the habit. So load up your list, the things you want. Now, when you check off something major, celebrate. That's an important point to me. Celebrate your achievements. Live it up. Have a party when you reach something you've worked for a while. See, we all grow from two experiences. One is called the pain of losing. The other one is called the joy of winning. We need both of them. Amplify them as much as you can, which also means make losing painful. If you set up something, fooled around, didn't get it, put it on yourself. On the other side, if you did get it, congratulate yourself. Self-congratulations is a sign of maturity. Seeking congratulations is a sign of immaturity. But hey, winning and losing, see, that's what it's all about. That's the name of the game. Now, some people lead such mediocre lives. At the end of the day, they don't know whether they're winning or losing. They got no clue. Guy's just going through the day with his fingers crossed. category of goals, personal development.
I found no.
Put those goals together. Personal development goals. That's your goals to be stronger, more decisive, be a speaker, be a leader, learn a language, all kinds of skills. Okay. The whole weekend seminar is designed to improve all your skills.
286,
So that you walk
977.
away more skillful. And that's what you
286,
want, the personal development
977.
skills. That's what attracts, that's what brings good things to your life, the person you become, more skillful. Now, this is quite a package to work on. Economics, things, personal development. For tomorrow, this week, this month, this year, long range. Okay, that'll get you started. Now, here's the simple formula for setting goals. It goes like this. A, work on your goals. That's step one. Work on them. And I put the word work there deliberately. Setting goals is plain hard work. I don't want to kid you. We haven't come here tonight to kid each other. It's work. I know it's work. That's why a lot of people just let it slide. It's work. Many people work hard on their job, but they don't work hard on their future. They just let that slide. And the work involved is making plans. I know most people don't. I understand that. But don't let that be you. Guy says, well, yeah, you work where I work, but the time you struggle home, it's late. You've got to eat by yourself and watch a little TV. Get to bed. You can't sit up half the night. Plan. And the guys be good worker, hard worker, sincere. But you've got to be better than sincere, working hard. You got to be better than a good worker. You got to be a good planner. Somebody once wisely said, the people who fail to plan are planning to fail. Well said. So work on your goals. Here's step two. Write your goals down. That's so important. I teach my staff around the world. Put your goals in your journal.
Steve.
Hello, hey Steve, this is Ron. I'm calling about one of your listings. 1004 Thompson Street.
Yeah,
Okay, well, you got a moment?
I do. What do you got?
Okay, yeah, so I'm an investor and I'm looking at it as a flip. I just got a couple questions for you. What's the backstory on it right now? Is it vacant?
It is. Well, it's vacant. Nobody's living there right now. Uh, they got everything on, of course, but the owner, has been on for quite some time. She's kind of waiting around, kind of wanting her asking price on the stuff. But you know how that goes in our business.
Yeah.
She's kind of, I wouldn't say stubborn, but just,
She's not entertaining anything low.
correct.
Well, I guess that leads me to the next question. Would you happen to know if there's a mortgage left on the house, which is why she isn't entertaining offers?
I believe there is, but I don't think uh, it's like, I want to say less than half. I mean, if I would take a guess, I haven't looked at the file in some time, but
Yeah.
But yeah, it's and of course, as the listing agent, we're always like, hey, the more you're paying, the less you're getting in the long run. So you know how that goes. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. The house isn't bad. I mean, I'm looking at it. You know, it's only 1,500 square feet. So if I was to go in, you know, and redo it, I would really just retouch up the floors and maybe do a new kitchen. It's just dated. The house is just dated.
Yeah,
So it,
exactly. I mean, it needs, and that's where she's like, if somebody else wants to do that, this is the price of what it is. And I understand, but if it had the granite countertops and all the fancy stuff that everybody loves,
top dollar.
300, so.
Top dollar. Yeah, that's kind of where I got to exit about, around that 300 range. But for me to get there, I would have to put in about 40, 50. And by the way, I got a question. Can you write? Would you be able to write and submit this offer for me?
Yeah, actually, I did one before, and it was low, and she was okay with that.
She was okay. Okay. I'm just not sure how she'll feel about. I know we're a bit far apart. I'm at right around 180, 190 cash, and then I would go in and put in 40, 45 and try and relist it. But I mean, I'm not sure. There's just no way I can come in at 289 and put in 40.
Yeah.
I would have to put it back on the market 450. And then that's just getting unrealistic for the zip code.
Yeah.
But if anything, if writing, if you could just do a run a verbal buyer, say you just got another offer came in around 180 cash, um yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can do much more. How much you think it'll sell for once it's like, fixed up?
There's really no telling. I mean, there's places, it was, when we listed it and did the comps, this was a couple years back, and she had an estate sale getting ready for the sale, and the comps were
Okay.
kind of all over the board, and you could probably see
Around like 2020.
Yeah, 2021. So that
yeah, that was a different market.
Yeah,
That market was crazy.
Exactly. So, but I'll run a buyer. I got your number, and all I can do is ask.
That's it. That's it. And I appreciate you doing that for me. And I'll see you my email address. So if you come across anything else, I could take a quick look at it in St. Charles.
Okay.
And what was your name again? I'm sorry.
Steve Hall, Hall.
Steve Hall. Okay, Steve. My name is Ron. I'm gonna make sure I say your number.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. I'll see if I can get a hold. I think she's traveling right now.
She's traveling. Okay, so, whenever you do, just reach back out to me, shoot me a text or give me a call back, whichever one is fine, and we'll take it from there.
Will do. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. It was good talking to you.
All right, good talking to you. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Because one of the major people you want to study is yourself. So here's the list of goals I put together 3 weeks ago. Here's the list of goals I put together 2 years ago. Here's some of the changes I made, rearrangement of my priorities. I scratched these off, I put these on, I've gotten these. Study your accomplishments, study what your desires are. Put them on paper, write them down. Here's another reason for writing your goals down. It shows you're serious about doing better. And to do better, you gotta get serious. You don't have to be grim, but you must be serious. Everybody hopes things will get better. Everybody hopes. Poor people hope. That ought to tell you something. It means the future does not get better by hope. It gets better by plan. I used to have the affliction called passive hope. It's an affliction. It's bad. Probably what's even worse than that is happy hope. Now that is really bad. That's bad. Happy hope. The guy's 50 and he's broke and he's still smiling. See, that's not good. serious
That
about your
nigga
goals,
say
put
you
'em on
50 and you
paper,
broke.
write 'em down. There's all kinds. His goals, her goals, their goals. Business goals, financial independence goals, family goals. I mean, there's so many things to work on this. But if you don't get busy and work on it, sure enough, the time will pass. And sure enough, 5 years from now, you'll wind up where you don't want to be, wearing what you don't want to wear, driving what you don't want to drive, being what you don't want to be. Now's the time to fix it.
We got that boy Steve.
Check the size of your goals and the kinds of goals. How big they are, what kind they are, affects you. And here's one of the important phrases of the evening. Your goals are affecting you, whatever they are. Your goals affect your handshake. Your goals affect your attitude, personality. Your goals affect the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you dress. All day long, we're being affected by our goals. Now, some people have goals, but they have such lousy goals. The effect is bad. I asked a guy one time, what are your goals for this month? The guy said, look, if I could just scrape up enough money to pay these lousy bills. That was his goal.
To pay your
I'm not saying
bills.
it's a goal. It's a goal, but it's such a lousy goal, the effect is bad. You don't jump out of bed on Monday morning and say, oh boy, another chance to go out and scrape up the money to pay my lousy bills. So you don't do that. Usually you say, oh, not another Monday. And some people have so given up on life, they have joined the thank God it's Friday club. How sad. Surely those are the same people, when life is over for them, will say, thank God
It's over.
Let me give you a Bible philosophy that teaches how to get whatever you want. That's the title of the next set of notes. How to get whatever you want from the Bible. Now again, I'm an amateur when it comes to the Bible. I'm not a pro. But this I can quote, and I think that'll be sufficient. How to get whatever you want. Here's what it says if you're ready. It says, ask. That's it. End of notes. Ask. If there's one art in life to learn extremely well, that's got to be one of them. The art of asking. What does ask mean? Ask means, what do you want? And the formula is staggering. It says ask and
$20,000 deal, man.
a guy ought to look into that. He says, yeah, but you work where I work by the time you struggle home. It's late. You got to eat by yourself and watch a little TV and get to bed. You can't sit up half the night, ask. And the guys being, see, you've got to be better than a good worker. You've got to be a good asker. Now, let me give you 3 key points on asking and receiving. This can do it. Number 1, asking is the beginning of receiving. Asking starts a unique process, mental and emotional. I don't even know how it works. All I know is it works. It's like pushing a button and all this machinery starts working. I don't know how. It just works. There's a lot of things you don't need to know how. Just work them. Some people are always studying the roots. Others are picking the fruit. I mean, it depends on what end of it you want in on. Asking is the beginning of receiving, so start the process. Here's number 2. Receiving is not the problem. Receiving is automatic. Now, if that's true, receiving is not the problem. What's the problem?
You.
Failure to ask might be one of your major problems.
Type shit.
The guy says, oh, I got up last year and hit it every day, but there's not a scrap of paper with my goals. Okay. Good work, poor ass. So you got to change it. Here's number 3. Receiving is like the ocean. There's plenty, especially in California. It's like an ocean here. Success is not in short supply. It isn't rationed, and you stepped up to the window and it was all gone. No, no, no. It's like an ocean here. Now, if that's true, what's the problem? Well, some people go to the ocean with a teaspoon. Have you got the picture? See, what you want to do in view of the size of the ocean is trade your teaspoon for at least a bucket, and you'll look better down at the ocean. Kids won't make fun of you, right? Okay, now there's 2 ways to ask, and we'll wrap up goal setting. 2 ways. Here's number 1. Ask with intelligence. It didn't say ask intelligently, but I'm sure it meant that. Don't mumble. You don't get anything by mumbling. Be clear. Be specific. Intelligent asking means how wide, how high, how soon, when, what size, what color, how much. Define what you want and describe what you want. That's powerful. In the weekend seminar we teach, goals become like a magnet. They pull you that direction. And the better you describe them, the more they pull. So ask intelligently. Here's number 2. Ask with faith. That's the childish part of the equation. Believe you can get what you want like a child. Not an adult. Adults are too skeptical. So the formula really reads, make plans like an adult and believe in them like a child. And the most incredible things will happen. Just try it for 90 days. Just try it. You can always go back to the old ways. Just try it. Just 90 days, 90 days. Now here's the last qualifying phrase on goal setting, as we promised to qualify everything. And it simply goes like this. Remember, you won't get everything you want. And we've already studied the reason for that. Simply, sometimes it hails on your crop and rains on your parade. It's that kind of planet. So you won't get everything you want, but if you will work this goal-setting formula, you can get plenty for wealth and happiness. Okay, that's goal setting. We use it around the world. We recommend it. Now, maybe it won't work as well for you as it has for me. I don't know. Maybe not.
That's pretty good.
You've got to try. Okay. Here's the last subject, the day that turns your life around. Let me just quickly give you a list of 4 emotions that can change your life in one day. Emotions are powerful. Sometimes it doesn't take much to alter your whole life direction. Okay, here they are. Number 1, disgust. Powerful emotion. Disgust says, I have had it. See, that could be the day. The day you can say,
That shit's so far out from civilization, bro.
and whether you had it was something small or something major, the day you can say, I've had it. May not be the day it ends, but the day it begins. That's what I said when that little Girl Scout left my door when I'm 25. I give her the big lie, she leaves, I say, I don't want to live like this anymore. I've had it with lying and being broke. Powerful day. He's finally had it with those awful sick feelings inside, knowing his wife is at the grocery store looking at 2 cans of beans, one marked 37 cents, one marked 39 cents, and the guy sick inside knows his wife's gonna buy the 37-cent can, and she doesn't even like the brand. Do you know why she's gonna buy the 37-cent can? To save 2 cents. The guy sick inside finally says, I've had it. Being on my knees in the dust looking for pennies? We're not living like this anymore.
More, nigga. No more.
Could be the day that turns your life around. The day you can say, I've had it. He walks into his closet and rips everything in it to shreds and says, I've worn this embarrassing stuff for the last time. And not only will I never wear it again, no one else will ever wear it again. Come in an act that says, I've had it. Power. Here's the next one. Decision. And decision making is powerful. And it's emotional. That's those knots in the pit of your stomach, right? Waking up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat, trying to decide. We sometimes call it inner civil war. What shall I do? Well, for progress, you must decide. The best advice I can give you came from a wealthy friend of mine who said, if it's easy, do it easy. If it's hard, do it hard. Just get it done. If you went home tonight and in the next few days cleaned up a whole list of decisions, that might furnish enough inspiration for the next 10 years. I found this out many times after you've decided. Getting on with it is easier than deciding. Sometimes decision is the toughest part. Here's the next emotion, desire, wanting to bad enough. And I don't know how to tell you to want to. That's something you've got to come up with. There's 2 things I know about desire. Number 1, it comes from inside, not outside. You don't send off for it. Number 2, I know desire can be triggered by something. Who knows what it might be? Sometimes desire waits and sleeps for something to happen. Maybe it's a book, maybe it's a song, maybe it's a sermon, maybe it's a lecture, a seminar, maybe it's the conversation of a friend, a happening, an event. Who knows? The best advice I can give you is what I give my staff. It goes like this: welcome every human experience. You never know which one is going to turn it all on. Even the bad experience. Sometimes from the bitterest experience comes the greatest awakening. So let down the barriers, take down the walls. The same wall that keeps out disappointment keeps out happiness. Let life touch you. Don't let it kill you, but let it touch you. Here's the last one. This one's powerful. Resolve. Resolve says I will. 2 of the most powerful words in the language. I will. Benjamin Disraeli once said, nothing can resist a human will that will stake even its existence on the extent of its purpose. Shortly put, I'll do it or die. See, that's powerful. That could be the day that turns your life around. The world has a strange way of stepping aside when somebody says, I'll do it or die. The man says, I will climb the mountain. They told me it's too high, it's too far, it's too rocky, it's too difficult, it's never been done before, but it's my mountain, I will climb it. Pretty soon you'll see me, waving from the top. Or dead on the side, because I ain't coming back. The best definition I ever got from the word resolve came from a little junior high girl in Foster City, California, up north. I'm talking to the junior high kids one day. I love to ask ask kids definitions. They come up with news. I got to the word resolve, and I asked, who can tell me what resolve means? And I got several names, and they were all pretty good, but the last one was the best. Little girl, about 3 rows back. Oh, look at her. She said, Mr. Rose, I think I know what resolve is. I said, darling, what do you think it means? She said, I think it means promising yourself you will never give up. I said, that's it. Webster, stand aside. That is the definition. Promise yourself you will never give up. I asked the kids, how long should a baby try to learn how to walk? How long? How long would you give your average baby before you shut them off? How long? See, any mother in the world would say, you're crazy. My baby's going to keep trying until it learns how to walk. What a magic formula. Now, let me show you what triggers all emotions into activity that brings results. And results is the name of the game. Here it is. Action. Finally, you must do something about how you feel. Jesus, the master teacher, said, don't just be listeners, be doers. The world admires the doers. Whatever it takes to get you to try harder, read more, set your goals, and go for it. Here's the next attitude disease. Over caution. Some people never will have much. They're too cautious. Now, you can also be too reckless, but you can also be too cautious. This is called the timid approach to life. And my caution was always the risk. Risk used to drive me right up the wall. I used to say, what if this happens? It's called the language of the poor. What if this happens? And on top of that, if this was to happen, look at the fix I'd be in. I better not try. I could always ace myself out. Then I'll tell you what changed my whole life when I finally discovered it's all risky. The minute you were born, it felt risky. If you think trying is risky, wait till they hand you the bill for not trying. If you think investing is risky, wait till you get the tab for not investing. See, it's all risky. Getting married is risky. Having children is risky. Going into business is risky. Investing your money is risky. It's all risky. I'll tell you how risky life is. You're not going to get out alive. That's risky. The Englishman says, well, if that's the way it's going to work out, let's give it a go. Right, that's what it's for. Give it a go. Somebody says, yeah, but I'm looking for safety and security. Fine, then huddle in a corner. We'll cover you with a sheet, bring you 3 meals a day. And we'll protect you, feed you, look after you, care for you. We won't let anything happen to you. And you'll probably live to be 100. The guy said, well, yeah, I'd live to be 100. But what a way to live. Right. What a way to live, safe and secure. Don't ask for security. Ask for adventure. Better to live 30 years full of adventure than 100 years safe in the corner. And see, it's not important how long you live. What's important is how you live. Here's the next attitude disease. We're almost through with this monthly list. In fact, we're almost through. Hang on.
Oh, man, rude, bro.
The next one is pessimism. Pessimism, the deadly disease of always looking on the bad side, the problem side, the difficult side, checking all the reasons why it can't be done. The poor pessimist leads an ugly life. He doesn't try to figure out what's right. He tries to figure out what's wrong. He doesn't look for virtue. He looks for faults. And when he finds them, he's delighted. How ugly. This is the poor guy who looks through the window. Doesn't see the sunset. He sees the specks on the window. And this is the poor guy, right, who rushes up, takes starts to leave his senses. This guy rushes up and he says, I've got 5 good reasons why it won't work. He's so dumb he doesn't know. All he needs one. He's got 5.
Ah, shit.
To the pessimist, the glass is always
Pessimism.
empty. To the optimist, the
Pessimism.
glass is half full. Why
Pessimism,
would the same
nigga.
measure affect people 2 different ways? Answer. It all depends on how you look at it. Our lives are mostly affected by the way we think things are, not the way they are. The way we think they are affects us most. There's a subject we don't have time to get into tonight called better thinking habits. One of the major things Joe taught me when I met him, he said, poor thinking habits keeps most people poor.
Facts, bro. Facts, bro. You gotta think positive, bro. Think positive, dog.
And Joe taught me that the mind
20 bands on the way, homie. It's on the way, homie. I'm just, keep minding my way to it, man. Keep minding my way to it. You know what I'm saying?
He quoted me a Bible phrase that says, as you think, so you become. How awesome. Talking about poor thinking habits he had at 8. I used to start the day reading the morning newspaper. I mean, you can believe that or not. I'd get a cup of coffee, read the paper. I'd read up on wars and riots and murders and stabbings and killings and bank robberies and muggings and car wrecks and tragedies. I'd even read the back pages. I seem to like that stuff for some weird reason. I'd read up on all that, and then I start the day. You can imagine the kind of days I used to have. You walk around with your financial needs. They call you economic pee-wee.
Economic peewee.
The guy says,
Yeah.
I want to be a good leader. Wonderful.
Oh, yeah, here's a little something.
When we get there, we walk in and check his library. Number 1. Somebody says, well,
Old little community. You feel me? DeSoto. You got the trail track. Got the trail track. Arlington Event Center. Damn, what type of shit is this fucking? From the old school hillbilly ass town, dog. Let's see how much you jump on it.
Into this mental factory every day and coming out with a rich, dynamic, positive life. It can't be done.
No. Oh, what they got going on in here?
The kids back in Danbury, Connecticut.
I like the house we kill movies, dog.
Talking to the kids. Kids got good questions these days. One of them said to me, Mr. Rowe, how do you build a good life? I said, it's simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. Here's how you build anything. Select the right ingredients, keep out the wrong ingredients, and it starts with thought. Everything starts with thought. So you must be wise
start with
and
thought.
careful what you think about.
Feel
Because that
me?
starts everything.
Oh, wait a minute.
You gotta be wise and careful. I asked the kids, what would happen if somebody dropped sugar in my coffee? They said, will you be okay? I said, what if somebody dropped strychnine in my coffee? They said, well, you'd be dead. I said, correct. Lesson 1. Life is both sugar and strychnine.
You could drop.
Be careful. I said, what if my worst enemy drops into sugar? They said, will you be okay? I said, what if my best friend, even by accident, drops into strychnine? They said, well, you'd be dead. I said, correct. Lesson 2. Watch your coffee. You gotta be careful. See, it doesn't matter who hands you the bad stuff. It doesn't matter where you get the bad stuff.
Doesn't matter. It'll still kill you.
Wherever you get Mr. Sharp gave me one of the greatest phrases when I first met him when he said, Jim, every day stand guard at the door of your mind.
Stand guard, but don't let negative thoughts run through your mind. You must fight negative thoughts. That's a
Stand
fact.
guard at the doors of your mind.
3.
And you decide what goes into your mental factory. Don't let anybody just dump anything they want to in your mental factory.
3,
Because
7,
you've got to
4,
live with
9.
the results.
3, 7,
Okay,
4, 9.
here's the last disease, and we're through with this list. In fact, we're almost through. Hang on. The last subject is very brief.
What is it? Put me on game.
The
Put
last
me on
disease,
game.
but this one is deadly.
Pessimism.
Indulge in it even slightly, and you might as well forget the future because it's going to forget you. Complaining.
Ah.
Crying.
Ah. Ah. Ah.
A Bible word called murmuring.
Murmuring.
That'll ace your future.
Murmuring and
Spend 5
complaining.
minutes complaining, and you have wasted 5. And you may have begun
No
what's known as
adjustment.
economic cancer of the bone.
Alright. So we need to buy this around 46.
Desert, and there let you choke on the dust of it. I hope I said that well. So you won't forget. It's a deadly disease. If you don't think it's bad, ask the children of Israel of Old Testament fame. Typical of us all, their story just happened to get in the book. The story says, children of Israel were slaves. God performed a series of dazzling miracles and got them out. And now they're headed for the promised land.
Hello.
You've reached Clark Morelli. If I'm not answering the phone, I can't get to it, so leave a message and I'll call you back. For St. Charles Restaurant Equipment, please call the office at 636-244-2378. Thank you.
Remember the story? Heading for the promised land. Tragedy of the story, they never got there. Reason. From day one, they started to complain. They griped about the water. They griped about the weather. They whined and cried and griped about the food. They griped about the leadership. They whined and cried because it was too far, too cold, too hot, too difficult, too miserable. I mean, they whined and cried for years. Finally, God said, I've had it, trip canceled. Or something like that. The story says they died in the desert, never got to the promised land. Which I think means 2 things. Indulge in this long enough, you get your future canceled. And I guess it also means even God himself can only take so much. Okay. Just be on the lookout of the things that could destroy all the good you start. The war is on. And this evening, tomorrow, mentally, personally, socially, economically, you got to make sure you're winning the war. And this is part of it.
Still looking to expand your team? Tackle every initiative with a freelance talent who will seamlessly join your team from just about anywhere. Hire a Fiverr freelancer today.
The greatest commodity possessed by all humanity on earth is time. What's amazing about time is that everyone has the same amount. A lot of us don't have the same amount of money, but but we all got the same amount of time, 24 hours every day. Time is what I call the currency of life. Currency is what you use to buy things. And you've heard the term spending time. That is a true principle. We spend time. And what you are was purchased by the time you spent. What you are right now, your life. You cannot really stop time. You can't even save it. But you can control it. And you control time by making a plan. A plan tells time how you're going to spend it. Now, without a plan, time is wasted. Please write this down. God has a plan for your life. That's why God has plans for your life, because He knows that without a plan, you waste time. And each year is a chapter in God's plan in your life. And I think we need to focus heavily on planning this new year. I mean planning it now, because the year's going to be so tumultuous. It's going to be so chaotic. Some of you are going to lose your mind. You're going to lose your sanity. You're going to lose your marriage. You're going to lose your home. You're going to lose your cars. You're going to lose your health if you don't get yourself lined up with God's plan. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11 says, "For I know the plans that I have for you. Plans, declares the Lord, to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." And God says, if you follow my plan, I'll set you free from the captivity. I will deliver you from the bondage. So what do you do when everything you trusted in collapses in a storm? How do you prepare for a sudden change in your life? And how do you recover when life hits you on the blind side? Some of you know what that feels like. What do you do after a lifetime of hard work and dedication and commitment and loyalty? How do you change your vocational skills suddenly when they release you from your job? When all your skills that you learned, they don't need it anymore. What do you do when the rug is pulled up under you, as we all know is happening to so many people? How do you face the family you once left behind to go back home because you didn't pay the rent and the mortgage and you can go live with your parents? What I like about life is God says that as long as the earth endures, there'll be seed time and harvest and cold and heat and summer and winter, and there'll be day and night, and these will never cease. Thus, as long as the earth remains, there will be seed time and harvest time. There will be some dark nights, but there will be days coming afterward. There will be winter, it'll be cold, but as prophecy says, there will be summer. If you broke now, I guarantee you cannot be broke forever. If you're sick right now, that's a season of sickness. Use your faith. Say, God, I'm going to make it through this season. On the other side is sickness, good health, a good, strong body. There'll be showers of blessing in what? Seasons. In other words, seasons are controlled by God. That makes me very comfortable. Because whether it's raining or sunshine, God is in control. Everything is seasonal. That means that no matter what you go through, it cannot last. Seasons are important because seasons guarantee change. Seasons give hope. Nothing remains the same in a season. Seasons are always temporary. And the key to life is outlasting the season. This is very important because when you are in a dark moment, sometimes you think that that's a permanent address. But never make a permanent decision to try and solve a temporary problem. This is what happens in divorce many times in America. We go through a very tough moment. I mean, hell on earth. Believe me, you got a choice. Am I going to make a permanent decision at this point? Or am I going to outlast this season and make it through this dark moment? It happens with friendships. It happens with even jobs. It happens with business. Sometimes you want to quit your business. Life is so tough. Everything is seasonal. That's the encouragement of life. When you see a storm coming, I want you to understand the nature of storms. Storms are natural. Everybody say natural. Storms are natural. Storms are temporary. There's no permanent hurricane. There's no permanent earthquake. There's no permanent tsunami. There's no permanent cyclone. They're all temporary. Storms are always moving. That's important. Storms force you to change. Don't curse a storm. It comes to bring you back to your sanity. Storms confirm how strong you are. No matter how much you claim you got faith, storms will test whether you got it or not. Storms reduce you to God again. That's why storms come. They come to reduce you back to God. Some people come so proud, they make some money, they got all this stuff, all of a sudden, bam! God says, thank you.
Bah! Give me that.
The storm comes to bring you right back down to God. You see, a storm will come to tell you what's valuable again, like your spouse and your children. A storm will bring you back to what's important. Don't curse a storm. A storm will come to remind you that in everything you gain, all you take is loss. And all that clothes that you so cute, proud of, somebody else beat you to die, they gonna wear all your clothes. Get back to what's important. It's people and God and family and worship. Invite some storms to come into your life. To show them how bad you are. To show them I'm gonna stand. After having done all, I'm gonna stand. Never trust a person who ain't survived it. Everybody can brag. Few of them can testify. Let me tell you something, the eagle. The eagle is the only bird that looks for storms. And it's the only bird that God identified with. The eagle is a strange bird, but he's the king of birds. Here's why. Number one, the eagle is the king of birds because the eagle understands storms. Secondly, thirdly, the eagle looks for storms. It's the only bird that looks for storms. Even in the desert, you see that eagle gliding high looking for storms, sandstorms, and cyclones. Why? Because the eagle welcomes storms. Why? Because the eagle flies towards storms when he sees it. Why would you do that? The answer is very simple. The eagle uses the storm for respect. Number seven, the eagle uses the storm to rest. The eagle wing can be 7 feet. Just that. And when an eagle sees a storm, he goes into the storm. He has to turn the storm, push it away, and then sets his pinions and he rests on the top of the storm. When the storm is present, the eagle rests. I'm an eagle. I want you to use every storm that comes. Someone just say amen like that. And I want you to tell the storm, I'm going to use you to go higher in faith. I'm going to lock my faith on you. And I'm going to rest in the God who's the God of the storm. So when I finish using you, I'm going to let you just go on by. This is why you have to learn how storms work. Eagles do not fear storms. And I challenge you to be like an eagle. Because eagles are the most successful birds in the world. Nothing is permanent except God. God promises that nothing is permanent, but only God is permanent.
Fear tends to be the greatest influence on most of our lives. For some of you, there's just this low-grade worry that you've lived with for a long time. For some of you, there's it's like around a specific fear, like you are afraid of being alone. like you finding love and ending life alone. Some of you are afraid of never being as successful as you would hope. Some of you fear is always around financial things. Others, it's always around physical health. Here's the reality. You're going to experience fear in life. That's just part of living. The question I want to kind of pose to you today is, what is your fear costing you? I personally feel like that life's toughest questions have to be brought to Scripture for answers. And if you were to take the whole breadth of Scripture, and you may be surprised to learn that what God's number one command is to us. His most repeated command to us is found in two words: fear not. More than anything else God says to humanity is fear not. I mean, why is God so focused on this? And immediately, I think some of us go, well, he cares about our emotional state. And he does, but I don't think that's the reason he's saying that. And the reason I don't think that God's total goal is to make sure you never kind of have a heart race is because most of the time in Scripture, when he says fear not, he then tells someone to do something that's very scary. Like David, fear not, now face a giant. You know, Peter, fear not, now walk on water. I believe that God says, do not fear more than any other phrase to humanity, because more than any other factor, fear diverts us from God's directives for our lives. What does fear cost you? Your God-given destiny. And that's the reason he says, do not fear.
You know, the command to fear not is one of the most oft repeated commands in Scripture. Somebody said there are 365 times the Bible says fear not. 365 times, one for each day of the year. How many times do you think God has to tell us something before we want to listen to it?
The most common command in all of Scripture is just two words: fear not. Fear not. Don't be afraid. Be strong and courageous. You can trust me. That's what God says over and over again. Why, out of all the commands and all of the instruction that human beings need in life, why is the injunction to not fear number one? Because generally, God asks people to take some adventuresome step they don't want to take. He calls people to acts of extraordinary obedience, to risky faith. And generally, it all comes down to this: will they go with their fear, or will they go with their faith? God says, trust me, and he does it so often because the number one factor keeping people from a life of adventure is fear. It's just plain old fear. So fear has a high price tag. So in Scripture, there are two kinds of mindsets laid out as possibilities for you and for me and for the human race. One mindset is based on faith. The other is based on fear. The faith-based mental attitude is, I can trust God's goodness and power to be sufficient in my life and live with a sense of relaxed confidence in him. That's a mindset of faith. Or I can live with a mindset of fear. I'm on my own. Unless I'm real careful and real cautious, something real bad will happen to me, and I might not be able to handle it. Again and again in the Bible, two different sets of people face the same situation and respond in two different ways. For example, Moses sent 12 spies to explore the promised land. 10 came back and said, we be not able. Yeah, the land is great, but the enemies that live there are so powerful we could never defeat them. We should go back. But two of the same spies, Joshua and Caleb, look at the same land, the same enemies, and say, we should go up at once, for we are well able to possess the land with God's help. Two guys, two groups, same thing, two different responses. Or a young shepherd boy named David brought food to his brothers who were serving in the Israeli army. He sees what his brothers see: giant Goliath, taunting and tormenting the Israeli army, mocking God day after day, and all the soldiers of the Israeli army see him, but they won't take him on. David sees the same guy, goes after him with a slingshot. Same enemy, same place, same time, two different responses. What's the difference? Well, it's not the circumstance, it's your mindset. Because if you live in fear, you're never going to realize the potential that God's put in you. Growth always involves risk, and risk always involves fear. Living with a mindset mindset of fear will lead to a mountain of regret at the end of your life for all the risks you never took, all the challenges you never embraced, all the times God said to you, come on, trust me. And for those who shrink back in fear and say no to the call of God, they end up sitting in a chair in a waiting room with a mountain of regret. And what's sad, at the end of your life, the thought's going to come to you, what might have been? What might have been if I had trusted God? But you're never going to know. You're never going to know that He's trustworthy because you didn't confront the fear. Why would God provide the answer before you step out to do the right thing? That doesn't take any faith. So why would anybody stay in a job killing them? Why would anybody that has no passion for the job, they're just punching the clock, treading water, and I'll tell you the answer is simple, fear. Their fear they won't get another job. Fear of failure. And maybe some of you right now, what if you try to do something and it doesn't work out? What if you don't make enough money? What if people see you make a switch at this point in your life and they think you're foolish? Well, here's what you'll do. You'll wait until you can get an ironclad guarantee that everything's going to work out the way you want it to. You will never get this ironclad guarantee. That's why faith has risk to it. What makes you afraid? What are you afraid of? See, some of you are doing a job you hate because you don't have the courage to go find the job you love. Because fear is actually holding you back because you feel inadequate to actually receive the career you long for. You know, one of the huge lies in my own life was that I didn't deserve that. Right? You know, why would you get that? Have you ever had a dream or an ambition, a longing in your life, but there's a little voice inside that just telling you, why you? Why should you have that? Why should you have someone who loves you unconditionally? Why should you have a career that's so fulfilling that it actually becomes an expression of your passions? Why should you have that accomplishment that everyone else thinks you're incapable of, but you just keep knowing inside of you that this is something you should try? See, everything inside of you that God has placed in you is going to send you right into the ocean of fear. See, I think sometimes when we're followers of Jesus, we go, what's God's will for my life? And we think that God's will move us around fear, right? Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't it be great to go, oh, I know what I'm supposed to do because there's no fear there. See, here's one way I can help you. All right? So I go, what do I do? I don't know what God's will for my life is. If it doesn't make you afraid, it's not your calling. The space between you and the life God imagines for you, the space between you and the life God wants you to live, the space between you and the life God created you to live, the space between you and the life you long for is filled with fear. And that if you live your life navigating away from your fear, you will never get to the place you long for. You will never get to the life you imagine. You will never get to the life you hope for. Because no matter what you dream of, I don't even need to know your dream. See, if you have a dream of a different life, if you have a dream of a different you, if you have a dream of a different future, I know that what fills the space between you and that dream is fear. And you have to figure out how not to go around that fear. You have to figure out how to navigate through that fear. It's not the fear of failure. It's not the fear of death. It's not the fear of getting sick. It's not the fear of losing a job. It's not the fear of losing a relationship. It's the fear that you're not enough. And the reason you're limited from living the life God created you is not because there's any real limitation holding you back, but it's these self-imposed narratives that you've allowed fear to write inside of your soul. The fear that is currently in front of you is not actually about the thing in front of you. There's a bigger something going on in your life. Like there's something bigger at play here. There's a battle for who's going to have the most influential voice in your life. That way it looks like it's about your job or your kids. There's really something bigger at play here. And it's a war over who's going to have the influence when it comes to your life. And listen, this is so clear because when you read scripture, what you're going to find is most of it can be labeled promises from God. I mean, promises for abundant life, promises for peace, promises for joy. Most of the scriptures are God's promises to you. Most of your fears are the enemy's promises to you. He's promising you that you're not going to make it, that your family's not going to make it, that you don't have what it takes. The enemy, fear is nothing more than the enemy promising you. It's what he uses to
to deceive you into taking the steps he wants you to take versus the ones God's called you to take. And that's the reason every time God says forgive, fear says, but you'll be letting them off the hook. Every time God says open up, fear says, but you'll be rejected. Every time God says, hey, now's this time to step in faith, fear says you don't have what it takes to take that step. You see, there's a bigger battle at play for the influence of your life, which means the greatest decision you make daily is whose voice will have influence over your life. It's fear and it's faith. Your father, it's fear in your father, it's fear in your father. And fear says you can't jump because he's not trustworthy. He can't put this marriage back together. He can't heal your body. He can't do the things you need to do. You need to fight this battle alone, is what fear says. And if you choose to follow what fear says, what you're going to find is you never experience the joy of the adventure God has set for you, and you do not get to know the arms of your Heavenly Father more. Let me just say what I've found. Fear is proof God's got something better. Fear is proof that God's about to open a fresh season, that he's about to do something new, that he's about to unfold a new part of his plan for your life. So jump. I really believe you can make the right choice and trust the right voice, and you would be astounded at what God will do in your life. See, no matter what your circumstance is, fear is whispering God can't do it. God can't heal. God can't redeem. That God can't make better. That God can't put back. That his limitations are why you can't trust him. Now, I'm not going to act like the world's not a crazy place. There are some real scary things going on in our world. I mean, very scary. But there is yet to be something that is more powerful than the God you serve. And you have to remember that. I don't know what you're facing, but here's what I know. Nothing in time or space or nature or sin or lack or in leader or in death or in disease is more powerful than your God. And that's the reason Romans says that what shall we say of these things, these scary things? If God be for us, who can be against us? How can fear have a place if God, our all-powerful God, is for us?
God is more powerful than any enemy will ever face. He's more powerful than any enemy will ever face. When we look at what the Bible teaches us about God, we see that he's not just a better version of us. He is completely different than us. We sometimes exercise wisdom.
Hello, this is Kelly.
Hey Kelly, this is Ron. I'm an investor and I'm interested in one of your listings you have up for sale on Zillow.
Yeah.
488 Snyder Hill.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm taking a look at it. What's the backstory on it? Is it currently occupied by a tenant, or is there an in-home, or is there an owner occupant?
Yeah. My seller owns it. He lives there as of right now.
Okay, and what does he plan on? Does he already have a place lined up once he sells the property, or
Yes.
he does? Okay. Okay, well, let's talk through this. So I'm looking at it as a flip. Would you happen to know um how how is the garage and how is the roof?
Yeah. The garage is good, as far as I know. The roof, most likely, need replaced. Like, there's nothing wrong with it right now, but it's definitely older. I think he says it's about 20 years old, roughly. So it's definitely towards the end of its life.
Towards the end of it.
Yes.
And I mean, yeah, that happens. Time flies. Before you know it, 7 years pass and it's already time for a new roof. What about that deck in the back? Is there any signs of any damages there or?
So it looks fine. It may need some, upkeep, but it's sturdy. It probably needs to be, stained, and stuff like that. But it's fine.
No, okay, so yeah, as long as there have been no reports of some foundation issues back there, then everything looks all right to me. I got a question. Are you able to write and submit an offer for me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and did you have a clue of what it'll sell for once it was fixed up? It's nice now, but I still think.
Say if it was fixed up, updated, and move-in ready, it's a prime location. It's in Fenton. I don't know if you're familiar with Fenton or not, but it's a very popular area. I would say it would probably go. I wouldn't go too high because it doesn't have a basement. But I would say it'd probably go for easy 200,000.
For 200. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's not that big. It's only about 1,000 square feet. So
Yep.
me looking at it going into it, I probably wouldn't do much. I would just go in, probably definitely redo the flooring,
Yep.
repaint it. That
Yep.
bathroom, it doesn't look too old.
No. I think they did the bathroom about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are 100% right.
So
It just needs some,
some quick
TLC.
updating.
Yeah, some quick updating. But if you throw some flooring in there and some paint, and get maybe new appliances, yeah, I would say it would be turnkey.
Turnkey.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know how you will feel about it, but um, I am a bit lower than where you guys are asking at one.
Yeah.
At 150. I'm more around like that 70,000 cash price range.
Okay. Well, I don't think he'll go that low. The only reason why I say that is because he actually still owes on the home, and he owes about 75,000.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that would put him. Yeah, he would kind of be upside down on that one.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So
okay.
I would say he's open to like 100,000
Mm-hmm.
or more, but he definitely can't take anything
Take less than.
75.
Yeah. Okay. That puts me kind of close on my numbers. Well, I tell you what. Let me go back in, see if I can find some more comps close by, and if anything, yeah, if anything, I'll let you know if I can come up, cause I know, yeah, there's no way he could take 70 and he still owes about 75 to 80 on it.
Yep.
He needs at least something to get him off his feet once he's moved and into his new place.
Correct.
Well, okay. Well, I appreciate you picking up the call. I'll shoot you a text in about 10-15 minutes, let you know what I think.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome, man. You have a good rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, shit. I forgot to put my mic back on.
try to manage a lot of different things at the same time, often not very well. He's everywhere present. We might be strong in body compared to someone else. He is all powerful. Sometimes we get convinced that the enemy or the danger we're facing is bigger than God is, or bigger than he can handle. John wrote, "Greater is he who's in you than he who's in the world." When we're fearful, we need to remember that God is greater and more powerful than any enemy will ever face. We also need to remember that God is with us. God is with us. To you and me, God says, don't be afraid, for I am with you. Don't be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will hold you up with my victorious right hand. 2 things to remember when fear keeps us up at night. Number 1, God is more powerful than any enemy will ever face. And number 2, this all-powerful God promises to be with us.
No matter what you're going through, no power on earth can separate you from the loving care and protection of your Father. Nothing. Not loss, not failure, not rejection, not cancer, not loneliness, not sickness, not even death itself. There's nothing that has the power to separate you and I from the love and care of our Heavenly Father in this world and in the world to come. I'm with you, God says. And the ultimate fear of people is, I can't handle it. Something bad is going to happen to me. I won't be able to handle it. But the ultimate promise of God is there's nothing you and I cannot handle together. I will always give you grace for that moment or that issue. And if you get a hold of that, it changes your life. And so God says, fear not. Fear not the past, it's forgiven. Fear not the future, I'm already there. Fear not sickness and disease, I'm still the great physician. Fear not loneliness, I am a friend that sticks closer than a brother. Fear not death, I have defeated death, hell, and the grave. Fear not a business failure. I am the Lord God that gives you power to get wealth. I will supply all your need according to my riches in glory. I will plant you by rivers of living water. Your leaf won't wither, and whatever you do will prosper. Don't worry. Folks, the cost of fear is too high a price to pay. And I hope you'll make this decision this morning to say whatever I need to do, whatever things I need to learn, whatever I need to put into practice, I will never live in fear any longer in my life.
The nicotine vapes can affect your physical performance. Watch Carrot's full story and get the facts at factsnow.com.
There's a moment when you say to yourself, it can't be done.
At some point, everything's going to go south. And you're going to say, this is it. This is how I end. Now, you can either accept that, or you can get to work. You just begin. You do the math. You solve one problem, and you solve the next one.
Instead of backing down, you push yourself forward into the unknown.
Do you realize that every day you thought you weren't going to make it? Do you remember them days when you thought it was absolutely unbearable and you thought you weren't going to endure that one? Do you know that your survival rate for every last one of them bad days is 100%? You batted 1,000. You survived every hater. You survived all the evictions. You survived the firings. You survived all the tell you no behind. You survived all the trouble you ever been in. Your survival rate is 100%. You got to proactively prepare to catch yourselves. You find yourself getting negative with people.
This is yours. You're the captain, you're the master, you're the foreman, you're the general, you're the head. Don't give control of this to nobody. You're gonna hit a wall. Everybody hits the wall. That wall shocked some people. That wall knocked the life out of some people. That wall discouraged some people. That wall is painful. Some will choose to go back. But there's some small number who, when they hit that wall, they decide, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be over there. This person doesn't care about me. Because this person knows something. There's no being without me. So this person comes back anyhow, again and again and again. And if you keep on hitting that wall, here's what happens to you. That you will have an incredible breakthrough. It is as if the universe says, let's help him out. I admire that kind of tenacity. Let's give her a hand. Let's send her assistance, send her resources. It will come out of nowhere as you're working times with tears falling down your face. You look back on the times and you will cherish those times.
Whatever storm you found yourself in today, don't give up. And I know it hurts, and I know you don't want to take it anymore. Your dreams look like you're seeing them from underwater. But don't give up. You have not seen the best days of your life yet.
But you have to start living your life in expectation. You have got to start expecting great things to happen for you in order for it to happen. If you live your life in expectations, that's what happens to you. If you live your life in despair, that's what happens to you. Say this to yourself every day. It's not over until I win.
It's not over till I win, nigga. It's not over till I win, nigga. Yeah, over until I win, nigga. 264. 240.
I know I figured if I quit, I'd go lower than that. I didn't need that. So I just, but my faith, my mother being a Sunday school teacher, teaching me about prayer and God, that was really helpful to me.
59.
So I just, can I tell you something? If you really want to be successful, you gotta have a lot of dogs. You gotta be mean sometimes. Because life ain't fair. Life is hard. It is not fair. Like you have happened to you that just,
Fucked up.
because life ain't fair. But life ain't fair to nobody.
I'm telling you,
You just
man.
gotta fight through, man. You gotta bite back sometimes. It's like haters. When you get haters, people's opinion of you is none of your business. I have lots of haters. They on the internet all the time. But who are they? They don't even know me.
More objective to go for than just a key phrase. We all need to belong to something bigger than us. Because we furnish inspiration for what's bigger, and the bigger furnishes inspiration. I learned from most Learn to use your own brand of wise and made culture to live in good. Here's three other things I learned. One is to train people how to business. Then I've used another word called teach, train, and teach. And all these say this. Training people how the business works. Teaching is how life works. Because here's what all of us need in the 21st century: business skills and life skills. The life skills are leadership skills. The life skills are learning how to set goals. Now, here's the ultimate skill you learn to transform your life and the lives of your business: the ability to inspire. Inspire means help people to look up a little higher than where they are and inspire them to the possible. Here's how we inspire: by our own testimony. If I can do it, you can do it. Here's how else we inspire: by others' testimony.
This is Senator Robin Murray Jones.
Things that were very unique. Getting people to see themselves better than them. Getting people to see themselves richer than they are. Getting people to see themselves more capable next year than they are. Getting to see themselves in the future.
This is the word of the Lord to somebody. You will not run from this struggle. You will stand flat-footed in this struggle. And no matter how you're toiling and how tired you are, you will stop asking for miracles to get you out of what God put you into. You will get in that struggle, and you will grab them oars, and you will deal with the struggle, because God has instructed struggle in this season for your life. I'm almost done. Mark does not mention Peter at all, because Peter missed the battle. And my God, Peter had to have it. When Jesus got to the cross, he missed the battle. He denied it and said he wasn't a disciple. He missed the battle. He ended up ashamed and disgraced. He missed the battle. I'm just saying, it could be possible that he should have stayed in the battle. Have you fought hard? Have you resisted the I'm not good. You know, it's a thing. He only talks about the humble. He only talks about the battle. And then the last moment, he brings the glory. And now I understand that. Why Jesus told the gathering of the fragments. We don't hear where they ever use it. We don't hear it where they ever eat. We only hear that the fragments were on the rock. And it is this gospel that makes us understand the fragments on the rock to remind them of the God and love. And the Bible says that they were carried along because the hearts of their own. The loaves were there to remind them of what God had done. And Jesus said, take the scraps with you. I never could, because my mind draws pictures. I never could figure out who wants to eat this stuff. These leftover scraps in baskets where everybody been eating off and throwing it away did not sound appetizing to me. So I thought, maybe I'm fearless, but it seems like, no, Jesus said, I'm going to work on them for 3 years. You could get some bread to eat. What we going to make with these scraps? With fish in it. If it was just their old bread, I could make some bread from this up. But what am I going to do with this old fish and this old bread? God left the fish and the bread so you could remember what he brought you through before. And God knew that a storm was coming in your life. And he said, I want to leave an evidence in your life that when you needed me before, I've always been there. And every time you've ever been in trouble, I brought you through. Everybody that's watching me, if you've ever been in trouble and God brought you through, give him a praise right now. I'm saying to you, you know how people get it to do? The people who go after this stuff, what makes it perfect? It's got to be your passion. You got to love it, ladies and gentlemen. You got to love it. It's got to be what you are supposed to do. You understand? Even though they want to invite you to Carnegie Hall, you're going to say to anybody
experiment. You got to be willing to fail and to succeed. You got to be willing to form and develop new relationships. It's you, it's on you. You got to make that happen. Nobody's going to bring it to you on a silver platter and say, here's your dream manifested. No, it's hard. Yes, it's hard. It's difficult. That's right. And it's worth it. People ask, hey, man, you know, these kids, man, it's rough dealing with them. That's right. That's right. You think peer pressure happened overnight? We went through peer pressure. I remember as a kid, two guys said, hey, Les, you know, another fellow named Willie. Lowe, we were going home. Hey, man, we're going down the road, man, knock off the grocery store. Hey, look here, I'm going to go out of that. See y'all later. Say, y'all chicken. So that's why you say whatever you want. Low stuff. I'm not chicken, man. I'm going chicken. But why don't you come? We didn't even ask you to come into place, man. All you do is drive the car. I'm not driving. Well, we're trying to get Les to come. He's chicken. Hey, I'm not driving nothing, all right? Willie, don't care about what they say, man. Leave him alone. You want to go do it? You find somebody else to drive, you drive yourself. Come on, Willie, man. Pull in your stop. Right, chicken. All I got to do is drive? Yeah, I said, Willie, that sounds simple, man. Don't go, man. He went. And the next day, we read the newspaper where when they robbed the store, when they came out running to a car, the merchant, the man who owned the store came out and shooting violently, and he hit the driver in the head. So peer pressure didn't just start in the 90s or the 80s. It's difficult and it's challenging for kids right now. And it's going to take some easy, simple methods to help bring them out of this madness, this insanity. No. Is it hard? Yes. Let's look at what they've been doing. What has worked? What has not worked? Let's look at where we want to go. What is it that we want to produce? What is it that we want to create for our young people? And as we think about that, start experimenting with different methods and techniques to create and to produce that. And begin to believe that it's possible through our commitment, through our vision, through our determination, our relentlessness. Because of our belief, it's possible that we can reduce the teenage homicide rate, the teenage pregnancy rate, the dropout rate. That it's possible, looking at what kind of world are they going to be in. As we look at the global economy, that as we begin to use our collective will and genius and resources, it's possible that we can create an educational system that not only will test their minds with information and facts and figures, but will teach them how to think and be creative. What does it mean to be a human being and to value human life? And how do you make relationships work? How do you bounce back from adversity? It's possible that we can give them a curriculum that will give their lives a sense of purpose and direction and meaning and teach them how to begin to know and operate on a higher level of being where they become assets to our society.
New Tickety Purple Mascara with vegan plant-based fibers and 16 oils.
I would not. Hello, this is Ron.
Hi, Ron. This is Robin Jones. You called me about the Tillwood Cove property.
Um, yes, ma'am. Give me one moment to get it back pulled up.
Sure.
Until Okay. Okay, I got it back pulled up. Yeah, so I did have a couple questions about it. Is it currently occupied right now, or is it
No,
vacant?
it's vacant. It's vacant.
Would you happen to know how long it's been vacant?
Oh, for about a year, but they just got cleaned out good. The owners passed away, and the family had to, you know, remove all their personal items, and they had to go through probate, and the sale of the house is the last action of the probate case.
Okay. Okay, and so it's already through probate. That process is already done.
Everything else in the probate case is done except the sale of the house. Yes.
Okay, and how many do you know how many years it's been since they did? Did they do any updates? I don't know how to make this sound as respectable as possible.
No, there's nothing. No,
Done.
it's kind of in a time warp, but it's in good condition.
Okay.
It's in good condition. There's no disrepair in the house. You know, there's no peeling. There are no holes in the walls. The ceiling's not falling in. There's no leaky plumbing. The windows are in good shape. You know, if you go in there and put in a new kitchen and 2 new bathrooms and pull up the carpet, you'll have a beautiful home.
Okay, and what about the basement? That was
The basement is full, it's dry, and it's big.
It's dry. It is dry. No sign of mold or
No
termite.
sign of mold, no sign of water. There are no cracks in the walls or in the floor.
Okay, so yeah, so basically I'm looking at yeah, and it's not that big. So like you said, I would just be going in and doing cosmetics, touching up the bathrooms, maybe doing a new kitchen,
New kitchen, pull the carpet. Carpet needs to come
new
up or down.
flooring. Have you guys tested the garage?
The garage is a 2-car with a little storage space in there. It's in good shape too.
It's functioning.
It's functioning. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I'm not looking at too much of a repair on my end. I'm maybe no more than 40, 35 I'm putting into it. Would you happen to know how much it's gonna sell for if you went in and did all the repairs?
It's listed at 265, but they are not getting ready to do any inspections or make any repairs. They're just gonna sell it.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't expecting them to do any repairs or anything on their end. On my end, of course, I would go in and do the repairs. I was asking, would you happen to know how much it would sell for I did the repairs?
When you finish the work, you should get upwards of 300 in that area. There's a mix of homes, and this particular one is some of the original homes that were built. When you look at Riverwood trails, you'll see 150 to 350 essentially. And there was a home very similar to this that sold for 285 last fall.
Last fall, okay.
Last fall. So I think, if you put 40 in it, you could get 300 out of it. It's a stable area. It's on the better end of the Hazelwood School District. It is quiet. It's not a pass-through area. There aren't any major thoroughfares that go through that subdivision, first of all.
Okay, yeah, it's in a nice community. It's just in a nice
community. It's all single-family homes. Yes, all single-family.
Okay, and I am cash, by the way.
I heard that's good. What
But
do you think?
yeah, so on my end, from my perspective, I'm looking at it. If I'm gonna put in about 40, 35, I would at least want to make that back and top off at about making about 60 once I resell it for the amount of work I have to do. But when I'm buying, I have to buy it at a steep enough discount to where I can get that. And that puts my buy around really, you said it's not bad, but I need to be more around that high 160s to 170s cash.
No, I don't think that would fly. I don't think it was like, it's a huge lot too. It's a quarter acre. You're gonna have to put a pool back there to tell you the truth. It's a huge lot. But 160, I know they wouldn't go for that even case.
Do they have do they have a mortgage left on it?
No, they don't. But they've got a probate bill to pay. You know, that
Yeah.
probate is expensive. And they've been at it a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't see less than 235 to tell you the truth.
No less than 235.
Yeah,
That's a bit high for me. I
yeah,
mean,
I understand.
would you be willing?
Are you here in St. Louis? Where are you?
No, I'm not there in St. Louis, but that doesn't matter to me. I have my crews out there working the area, and like I said, we like that area for the rest of you. You can get some nice houses, put in a good amount of money, and flip them.
And have a beautiful home. And
Yeah.
it is a good looking home. The um the roof is, I think the roof is relatively new. Bad storm came in and tore up the roof and the guttering. The siding is very much intact. Never been a problem with the siding.
Beautiful yard, beautiful walkway walking up to the door.
Yeah,
You got the brick.
and it's huge in the back. Huge yard in the back. Now, if you've got, I'm out of town this week. If you've got some of your guys who want to go in and look at the house, you give me a call. I won't be back in St. Louis till Monday. You give me a call Monday. I can meet somebody out there from your crew so they can, eyeball it for themselves. Give you a better understanding of, what you would do, what your crew would do, what they would need to do.
Well, I do know for one thing. I mean, I really don't like to do that if I'm too much off the asking price. Because it does take a bit of time. But if you can run a verbal by them and they, right at 170 cash, run a verbal by them, see what they say, and if we can get in that range, I think I would be willing to send my guy out there to go take a look at it if they can get below 200. But
I'll sit by him. I will run it by him. I'll give him that opportunity. Let him know that's your offer in that area, somewhere below 2.
Yeah.
I'll ask him and give you an honest answer.
Okay. Yeah, let them know 170 cash, and then we'll talk from there. And then in the meantime, I'll take another look at the property. It's just that if I'm buying at
I know.
230, put in 40. I don't want to list it at at 375 and then just have to sit on the market till we bid down.
Yeah, you want to flip it. I understand.
I wouldn't want to sit on it. But yeah,
I will,
okay.
honestly ask you. You honestly ask me. I'm going to honestly ask them, and I will give you an honest answer.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'll text you my info for if you come across anything else in the future. I'll take a quick look at it.
Okay, we'll do that.
We'll do.
Absolutely. All right. Well, give me a couple of days to get back in touch. I'm in a conference.
Okay.
And I need to reach out to them and talk with them. So what is this, Tuesday?
Yeah.
Give me till Thursday to get an answer to you. Is that okay?
That's okay. That sounds good. And I'll text you.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Let you know.
Talk to you soon. You have a good rest of your day.
You too. All right. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
At one point in your life, you're going to have to be trouble. You cannot play it safe your whole life. Ships are sunk.
And now square yourself in a celebration. Cookbooks are online. Food orders show up here.
Should do it, Jerry. Let them know that this offer only stands today.
Hold up. What about our old customers?
Wait, we have an Instagram now? No, we like our old customers.
Wait, can I still sneak food to my dad?
Of course you can.
GMC Sierra with hands-free driving. Yeah, it runs. Step up to GMC with 0.9% APR and no monthly payments for 90 days on Sierra light-duty models. We are professional-grade GMC.
Being multidimensional is a good thing. So when you start thinking about streams of income, think of multiple streams of income. I wanted to preach, I'm called to preach. You know me from preaching, you know me from ministering the gospel, and I love what I do. But I had dreams for my children that were bigger than what I do. I did not want my children to have to fake being me in order to be successful. I wanted to create an entrepreneurial environment for them, and so I started investing in real estate, and I started building communities, and I'm getting ready to build more communities in America, and I'm looking for other places in the world where we can build these communities, these smart communities that are conducive to the future. You do not build your business on where you are or where you've been. You build your business on where you're going. So then, if you are building for the future, then you have to reimagine your strategy. I'm going to give you a couple of big words, big words, like strategy. This is how you're going to do it. You're going to do it through a strategy. I got here through a strategy. What is the strategy? A synchronized step-by-step plan from point A to point B. Your strategy is important. You got to fix your strategy. If you've been doing what you've been doing for 5 years and it's not working, it doesn't mean you need to give up your idea. You might need to give up your strategy. Your strategy of accomplishment has to change with the times. You may not have hit your customer yet, but that doesn't mean your customer's not out there. You've got to find somebody, and let me tell you who wants what you got. The person who wants what you have is a person who sees what you have as an answer to their problem. People will go get answers. They are not looking for problems. What do you solve with what you bring? And you don't have to have a degree to do this. It could be as simple as my father's mop in a bucket. My father ended up with 52 employees in the 60s because he built a business that solved the problem. Not all of us will be doctors, not all of us will be chemists, not all of us will be lawyers, not all of us will be astronauts. But the astronaut still needs a plumber, the doctor still needs an electrician. Whatever your business is, it must be an answer to somebody's problem. It must solve that problem and fix that problem. And when you do whatever you do, and you find yourself maxing out at what you do is not who you are. What you do is not who you are. What you do is not who you are. People say T.D. Jakes is a preacher. First of all, he wasn't always. Second of all, T.D. Jakes is a man. He's a man called to preach. See, when people give you titles, they imprison you. If I bought into that, I wouldn't have done almost $500 million worth of films at the box office. Because I would have said, I'm a preacher, I can't do that. Don't let anybody lock you up with a title in a prison that is beneath your level of gifting. You are whatever is in you. You are whatever is inside of you. You are whatever you think about at night. You are whatever you dream. You are whatever is in your head. I want to break somebody out of jail right now. You are more than what people call you. Am I in the right place? You are more than the job title that you have. You are more than the company you work for. You are more than anything you have experienced up to this point. You are everything that gives you energy when you think about it. Find out what are the things that make you leap out of the bed in the morning. What are the things that give you energy when you think about them? Your purpose is in your passion. Your purpose is in your passion. Don't sit there and say, I don't know why I'm here. You do know why you're here. Find the thing that It gives you energy when you do it. The ideas start tingling over in your head when you get in it. Found the thing that when you get into it, you're curious about it. You're attracted to it. You're drawn to it. Because whatever the anointing you respect is the anointing you receive. Oh, can I talk to you, somebody? The anointing you respect is the anointing you receive. So the person that you idolize, you probably idolize them because they're doing something that is in you. Other people ignore them. And you will walk around and hear them or see them or hear them sing or watch them build or hear them orate or whatever it is that they do. It's because it's in you. When I was 8 years old, I was sitting in the back of the car with my mother, and my mother was a speaker, and she went out and did public speaking. And I was sitting in the back of the car. At 8 years old, I said, right now I'm going to hear you speak. And they called me Miss Jake's son. But the time will come, you will come to hear me speak. And they'll call you Tom Jake's mother. Instincts are inside of you, and they are never one-dimensional. You are more than your job. So if your job goes down, it doesn't mean you have to go down. While you're working for a company, never stop branding yourself. One of the problems that I find prevalent with millennials who, by the way, I love mentoring you above anybody.
Please state your name after the tone, and Google will try to connect you.
Ron Reed.
The Google will remember your call.
You are the best investment because you have the longest shelf life. You will outlast me, and you assure the fact that my work continues. I cannot have success without a successor. So I'm committed to you winning. Let me say that. I'm committed to you winning. The problem is, your strength is your weakness. You were raised with technology, which is a great strength, but it's also a great weakness. Because when you are raised with something that responds in predictable ways by touch, when you are placed in unpredictable situations, you don't do well. Because you expect people to respond like computers. They do not. People respond in unpredictable ways. And let me tell you something that you're going to have to become more proficient in. Relationships. And relationships are not text. They're not tweets. They're communication.
At Jersey Mike's, they freshly slice your sub right in front of you. You steak subtract.
We are designed that we read more than language. I don't have to, like a minute ago, you were doing what you were doing. I didn't know what it meant, but I felt what it meant. So communication is more than speech. It's eye language, it's body language, it's voice inflection. All of those are tools. Because when you get ready to do business, people don't just do business with ideas. People do business with people. They do business with people. And you have to understand, in building that process, it is not like building a face page. There's work to it. And one of the mistakes we made, and when I say we, I mean my generation, I mean anybody that you admire. It may not be me, it may be Diddy, it may be Diddy, it may be Oprah, it may be Tyler Perry, it may be somebody that you saw, maybe Beyonce. You see us after we arrive. You didn't see us when we struggled. So when you decide, I'm going to be like him, you're coming in at the end of the movie. You missed the days I couldn't feed my kids. You missed the day that I went out in the field and gathered apples to feed my kids or used paper towels for diapers because I couldn't no's to get to a yes. But it is the 400 no's that lady was talking about before the yes that makes you who you are. And when you get a no, you give up and say, this must not be it. That's not true. That woman got 399 no's before she got one yes. You have to have the resolve inside of yourself to resist the temptation to believe the detractors and to continue to believe the voice within. And why is that important? It is the strength you gain from your failures that make you strong enough to stand up to your success. If I wanted to really destroy you right now, real fast, real quick, I would give you my life right now and all that goes with it and all the 300 and so employees of my little company. I would give it all to you. All right, man. Hope y'all enjoyed this episode, Agent versus Wholesaler, bro. Y'all boys remember, bro, the world is yours, bro. Go get that shit, bro. You feel me? The world is yours. Go get that shit. Yeah, I'm out of here, bruh. Never give up, bruh. Keep going. Never give up. 20 bands is on the way.